All right, Shalom. Before I continue with this lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother lawyer, and I teach for the Great Millstone National Camp. Come back with a quick lesson. And this lesson will be entitled, There Ain't No Free Will. You know, there is no free will, because somebody had brought this conversation up. I think it was Wednesday. But yeah, the conversation was brought up, and the guy stated that, well, I thought we all had free will. That's what they teach, right? And yeah, so there ain't no free will. So let's go right into it. Proverbs 16:1, the preparations of the heart in man, which the word heart goes in the lob, which means your mind. So the preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. So what you think about, either whether it's good or bad, everything is of the Lord. Man's goings, which we're going to get there too. But man's goings are of the Lord. So, the clothes you put on, what you're going to eat, drink, is already prepared via the Lord for you to do that. Whatever you dream about, like how it says in the book of Job, when a man is, sleeping, the Lord puts in his inner parts what he's going to do the next day, what he's going to, wear, everything. All right. It says all the ways of man. All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the heart. So, right. So what you want to do or how you see things, it might be right to you, but that's not the case. That ain't the case. And then it says, and matter of fact, let me get a different version. The second verse, it says, people may be pure in their own eyes, but the Lord examines their motives. So because the Lord know what you're gonna do. He already know what you're gonna think about. He already know all that. So yeah, in your own eyes, it seemed right, but via His law and what He dictates, it may not be right. Let's get off of that. Let's go to Proverbs. I think it's 21, 20. Forgot which verse. 24, I think. Yeah. It says, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? And so a man's goings is of the Lord. From your day to day, from what you even believe in. You don't believe in this truth, what we teach, and you believe in, Muhammad, and you a Muslim or Christian, you what's the other one? Buddha or whatever, that damn, I forgot, I was losing my train of thought. But basically that's of the Lord. He got you into that religion, to destroy you, because really you idol worship. If you an Israelite, you're idol worship. If you another nation, do whatever the fuck you want to do. But if you a Hebrew Israelite, so-called Black, Latino, Native American, Hispanic, you ain't supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be trusting in the Lord, calling upon the Lord. All right? That's what you're supposed to be doing. So a man's ways is of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? Proverbs 21 and 2, it says, every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. It says, to do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. And really, I didn't want to read that, but let's get this in this NLT. Let's get verse 2. Give me 1 second. Oh, I got to use the restroom. Give me 1 second. All right, right here, NLT. Let's see. Verse 2, people may be right. Did I already read this? I feel like I already read this. I might be tripping. Yeah, I feel like I already read this. We'll read it again. It says, oh, no, I think it's verse 1 that I wanted. Yeah. It says, the king's heart is like a stream of water directed by the Lord. He guides it wherever he pleases. Right? So, yeah, that's what I wanted. It said the king's heart, which is the king's mind, is like a stream of water directed by the Lord. So Trump, these other different presidents and so on and so forth, these different leaders, the Lord is the one that's directing their mind to do certain stuff. Like I said at the beginning, whether it's evil or good, everything, he's omnipotent. Everything is, for either good or evil. That's just what it is. Ever since sin entered into the world, that's what the storyline of, different I hate saying different life cycles, but we went through different time periods. We was in the ancient world, now we're in the modern world. So throughout this whole timeline, that's what's being a warring against each other is good and evil. Jacob versus Esau, the wicked versus the righteous. What the hell? Phone was doing something. What the hell? Oh, it was an ad. So yeah, that's what I wanted. I forgot what verses that I wanted out of these precepts. I'll just find them. So Jeremiah 10, I think this was 20. Yeah, 23. It says, "Oh Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps." And it says, "Oh Lord, correct me, but with judgment." Well, I don't want to read that. Let's get that. Hold on, let's see. Let's read that back over. "Oh Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps." So what's it saying? It's saying that the Lord, with previous precepts, with understanding the ways of the Lord, is that he guides a man's steps in whatever he do. Man, woman, child, all that. Dogs, what they gonna do, what the animals gonna do, everything, what the stars is gonna do. We're always gonna be a shooting comet tonight. Who's over that? The Lord. He controls all that. Ain't no free will, And then I got two more. Sirach 18, 18 and 3, it says, "Who governeth the world with the palm of his fist, and all things obey his will? For he is the king of all. By his power, dividing holy things among them from profane." And so that's plain and simple. The Lord controls all that. Everything obeys his will, whether it's good or evil. Just like there be spirits created for vengeance. Let me get that. Sirach 39:28. "There be spirits created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made him." Or them, my bad. So they gonna do his will, And then it's the last one. Forgot what I think it's 33 and 13. Slakia. All right, well, I forgot where I was. Oh, Sirach 33 and 13, Slakia, stretching. It says, hold on. Blessed, exalted, son of them, sanctified. Yeah, so it says, "As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liking him best." And so basically, like when a potter making clay pots or whatever, he's going to make it to his liking. Okay, boom. This one got designs and this got this and that. Well, that's how the Lord do man. It's the same. This man is such a monster. He did this and that. Well, the Lord made him that way. And it's for the Lord's purpose. If this guy's a mole or whatever, the Lord gave you up to that. But you're gonna play that role. That's the role the Lord got you playing. So everything is for the Lord's purpose, whether it's good and evil. And so just understand, Basically, there ain't no free will. You ain't out here doing whatever you want. No, the Lord got you doing that, and it's either for salvation or destruction, deliverance or destruction. So, Lord will, this is edifying, quick hit, quick lesson. Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Makakodash, Shalom.